Hey guys, I made a post the other day on my socials, and it was pretty well received. Basically, it said that if I have to choose between two solutions, I have one that's slightly faster and the other that's slightly slower, but will leave the dog more biologically fulfilled. I'm going to choose that slower one, and I stand behind that 100%. My goal with every dog I train is to have the most fulfilled dog possible. I want them to have the fullest life, the fullest experience. I want them to be the best behaved family member. I want them to have the best life possible, and that means we meet that biological fulfillment whenever we can. So the question that came up though was, well, where is that line? Like, slightly longer or significantly longer? Because sometimes it's going to take a lot longer to do it that way, and I don't think that's usually true. Sometimes it is, but I don't think that's usually true. I think that's kind of a false assumption. But assuming it is, where would I draw that line? Well, that's a conversation I'm going to have with the client, and we're going to talk about what it takes to live with that dog while we train it. Because uh, every dog owner trains their dog to some degree, and every dog owner manages their dog to some degree. And management is when we prevent the mistake from happening. Like some people will put their garbage in the pantry when they leave, or keep the toilet lid down so the dog doesn't drink out of the toilet, whatever it is, right? Other people, they train those behaviors so they can leave the trash out and not worry about the dog. Crating is a form of management. Leashes, in most cases, are a form of management. If you are not using a leash just to meet your legal requirement to have your dog on a leash, then you are using the leash as management, right? So the question that always comes down to is how hard is this to manage, and how much work is it going to be, and how likely are people to be able to manage it? Because the problem with management is on a long enough timeline, it will eventually fail. If we get, people make mistakes. Somebody forgets to close the door, somebody forgets to latch a gate, whatever. So the question is, I always ask is, how dangerous is this behavior? How likely is somebody to get hurt while we train it? And how easy it is to prevent that from happening? And if it's a very dangerous behavior and it's very hard to prevent, uh, and it's likely somebody's going to get hurt, then we're going to definitely train that. But like an example people use all the time, jumping up. People say, oh, if your dog jumps on grandma and knocks her down, he can break her hip or whatever. That's true. But it's relatively easy to manage a jumping dog, right? For a couple of weeks while we train the dog, can I stop that in one session? Absolutely, I've done it before. I don't like it though. I don't feel good about it, and I don't think it's the best way for most people and most dogs to address that problem. I think for most people, we want to build the proper behavior over time. So we need to make sure that when grandma comes over, we have the dog on a leash or we put the dog away. We manage temporarily while we train until we have a dog we can depend on, right? So that's my answer. It doesn't take a lot. Management isn't that hard if we have an end in sight. So, still, usually if I can manage the behavior, I'm going to take the slower path because I want that dog to be the most fulfilled, happiest, best dog I can. All right, so that's it for now, guys. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.